You are being lied to. The system that we live in does not work in your favor. The government, the schooling system, the food we eat, and even women are all trying to bring you down. They're destroying your testosterone and making you weak so that you can be controlled. You see, there is nothing they hate more than strong men, because strong men fight for what's right, and they stop them from controlling the world. But who are they? They're an all-seeing, all-knowing, evil group that pulls the strings and controls everything in the world. They are the Illuminati. And I'm going to teach you how to escape their grasp so that you can finally be free. So you can finally be a strong man from tales of old, a hero who can bring together this torn up world. All you have to do is buy my $5,000 dropshipping course. Now, doesn't that sound familiar to you? Off the top of my head, I can think of 5 or 6 guys who use exactly that sort of sales tactic to try get you to buy their scammy course. And especially one bloke comes to mind who was in prison somewhat recently, and they all use the same narrative, with some very slight differences. The Illuminati may be referred to as the Matrix or the Taskmasters or something along those lines. But the story is always the same, and it involves some kind of fear-mongering and some kind of anti-establishment rhetoric, which works very well on the audience they're targeting. They make you feel like the system is completely against you. They also like to cause some kind of panic from their audience, making them feel like they're behind in life, even though they're probably just teenagers. How do they do this? By showing their ultra-luxury lifestyle, driving supercars, living in fancy apartments and houses, eating fancy dinners, and wearing expensive luxury watches. They also resonate with their audience that they need to be masculine and stoic, but yet subconsciously they promote a hedonistic lifestyle by spending all their time smoking and hanging out with beautiful women, doing naughty activities. This emasculates their audience of mostly young men who feel like they're not hustling hard enough and that they're running out of time because the Illuminati or whatever organization it is coming after to take over the world. So they better learn to be an Amazon dropshipper before it's too late. So they think they should buy this course that's going to teach them how to be a dropshipper, and they'll be financially free in just 3 months. As long as they work hard enough, they'll get rich quick. That reminds me of something. A scheme of some sort. Oh yeah, that's right, a get-rich-quick scheme. And this type of grift is not new. Con artists for a long time have been pretending to have their audience's best interests at heart, all while making a handsome profit at the end. They may have sold seminars, courses, self-help books, or even appealed to their audience's desire for financial freedom as a method to recruit them into their multi-level marketing scheme. And this would all be good if it was at the actual benefit of the audience. But it never is. There are, however, some creators who do genuinely care and make fantastic content for their audience without some scammy product offering at the end. People like Mark Manson, Alex Hormozy, and Dr. K from Healthy Gamer GG, who use their content as a funnel to get people to sign up for their product or their service, or even to get businesses to sign up to work with their private equity firm in the case of Alex Hormozy. But they're very transparent about it, and they don't try to sell a dream that they can't fulfill on. And they especially aren't trying to prey on the vulnerable. Hormozy, for instance, has an audience of business owners, or people who are already making money and doing relatively well, who are just trying to scale up and become bigger in their organizations. Not people who have nothing going on in their life, potentially because they're just teenagers. And that is the problem with these other guys. And it's that their audience, by the very nature that they're watching them, are clearly in a very vulnerable position and are looking to change their lives. And of course, they're most likely just teenagers. And instead of just being teenagers, they're made to feel like they're far behind in life and that they should be hustling so that they can be millionaires before they're 20. And because they're so desperate and vulnerable, they're going to take any chance and any opportunity that they can in order to become successful. They're going to sign up for the community, buy a course, do whatever program they need to, and spend money they don't have in order to try achieve the lifestyle of these influencers that they've been watching. And I don't think that's okay. In all honesty, this video is not great for me. I'm connected to a lot of these guys through friends and people I've worked with in the past, and I'm likely going to lose a lot of my connections from making this video. I will likely be ostracized from communities that I've been a part of for years, because those are the people who are making a lot of these courses. I've had a number of people try to get me to make courses and use my content to promote it. I've almost been hired to work with people to help build these exact funnels in order to get them to grow their businesses. Did you catch that? Whilst that is true, you don't really give a shit and I don't need to share it. And that's another thing these guys do. They create the impression that they have some forbidden knowledge that they have absolutely no benefit sharing with you, as though they will actually be attacked for it. Meanwhile, they make millions off of the promotion. And this is actually how Mr. Tate's arrest benefited him. Because he wasn't found guilty for any of the crimes he had allegedly committed, it makes it seem like the authorities are trying to silence him from telling some kind of truth, which gets a bunch of people to sign up to the Real World Hustlers University because they think there is some kind of hidden forbidden knowledge in those communities. Okay, but there's a lot of these guys online who promote self-help and have products at the end. So how can you tell who's a scammer and who's not? If they sell you a course telling you how to start a business that they supposedly got rich from. As Mark Cuban, who knows a little bit about making money, said, if you have a really great way to make tons of money, why would you share that idea with people, even if they're paying you?
When you see somebody on social media telling you how they're going to make you money, they're lying. I'm going to give you a secret that all successful people know. When you have a great idea, when you have a way to make lots of money, the number one thing you are not going to do is sell that idea, sell that service, sell that approach to anybody else. You're going to use it for yourself. You're going to start your own company. You're going to start your own LLC, whatever it may be, and take that and make money for yourself. Let me just give you some common sense information here. When somebody's selling their idea, shoes, drop shipping, whatever it may be, to you, and they're selling it to other people, you know what they're doing besides lining their pockets? They're creating competition for you. Now there's 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 people doing the exact same thing as you. And you know what they call somebody that goes into a business where there's unlimited number of people that you already know are doing the exact same thing as you? They call them stupid. Don't do it. Do not send your money to anybody online who's just telling you how they're going to make you rich. If they were really that good, they would be making themselves rich and not sharing it. So save your money.
So clearly, selling the course makes more money than the actual business. Otherwise, why would you not just focus entirely on the business that you're teaching other people how to do? It's not going to be altruistic. And also, by that very nature, people will not be able to live the same lifestyle as you because clearly that business does not make quite as much money. One great example of this is Mr. Iman Gadzhi. He supposedly made most of his money off of IAG Media, his social media marketing agency. But when his education company teaching people how to make social media marketing agencies got big, he shut down his social media marketing agency completely. Now, if you know anything about business, this is absolutely mental. If you have a successful company with well set up operations, a well-built reputation, with clients and it is profitable, you don't just close it. You either hire someone else to manage it for you so you can continue to collect the profits, or you sell it. Because if it's actually a successful marketing agency, someone out there will buy it. Even if they don't want it for the name, they'll buy it so they can absorb the operations of their own company, or so they can take on the clients for their own agency. So the only reason it wasn't sold was because it wasn't as successful as he made it out to be. Now, I'm not going to speak on the validity of Educate. I've not been in there. I've seen reviews that say it's fantastic, and I've seen some reviews that say it's not that great. That could be based on the individual. He could have hired teams that actually know what they're talking about and do very well from that. But the funnels that lead people to sign up for this agency are a little bit unethical at best. Not illegal, but I wouldn't call them ethical. Also, the company boasts that they have tens of thousands of students. And if each one of these students was successful, then the market for social media marketing agencies would be insanely flooded. So by that very nature, it cannot give guaranteed results. Also, don't sign up for any course where there's thousands of people who are learning exactly the same thing as you. That means you have endless competition doing exactly the same thing. There's a really great video breaking this stuff down from business advice that actually works. You can check it out in the link in the description below. 2. How it's promoted on social media. Let me give you a rundown on how Andrew Tate grew Hustlers University in the real world if you don't know. It's a very clever marketing tactic. Hustlers University, now known as the Real World, offers a number of different ways that they teach you how to make money, from copywriting to drop shipping to crypto and other investments, as well as a number of other things. But one of the more successful money-making tools within the program is the Real World Affiliate Program. Essentially, what it means is that every person who signs up for this program gets a special link. And if someone else signs up to the Real World through that link, The original creator who owned the link gets a nice $20 commission. So people within Hustlers University or the real world would try a few of these other money-making tactics, not make as much money, and then realize that if they started promoting the program on social media, they could collect $20 a pop for every person that signed up. So they began pumping clips on every single social media platform. This is why last year, all social media was absolutely full of Andrew Tate. And the best editors made some serious money off of this, signing up thousands of people at $20 a pop. And you can imagine that that begins to add up. But then a lot of the people who signed up through those links started doing exactly the same thing. And soon, social media was completely flooded with Andrew Tate, which acted as an incredibly effective marketing campaign that led everyone to Hustlers University. And it started with one guy using social media to make some cash, which then led a couple of other people to make social media, which then led a bunch of other people to use social media. And so, oh, it's a fucking pyramid scheme. A few of these other guys have used very similar tactics with social media, but because it would be too obvious to use the same affiliate program, they use slightly different methods. For instance, they hired countless editors to just start making short content off of all the back-end content that they've made in the past. They then pitted these editors against one another by offering bonuses to the ones that went the most viral. This strategy ended up going out of hand with Iman Gadzhi when his editors soon realized that in order to go the most viral, they would take clips of him where he said something out of context that was absolutely outrageous.
You know, you'll have Tate, or you'll have some of these other people, and their affiliates are obviously incentivized to clip up things in a way that almost portrays them badly to get the most amount of views. You know, I even had to have a word with Spencer about certain clips that have gone up because they'll take a 5-minute, they'll take a 5-minute interview and then they clip it into 22 seconds, and I literally didn't even say that. Like the way you stitch it together, it's just something that it's so far from what was actually said in the full long form content.
The content that was going out, and I was like, I just look like a twat. I would hate me.
This is exactly the same thing that happened with Andrew Tate. When the competition at the bottom of the pyramid got too big, people realized that they could get more views by having him say the most controversial thing. And so the stuff that was getting shared the most was the most insane things he said, even if that was only like 20% of the time, which is why he became such an extremely controversial figure in all of media, besides the fact that he's just a controversial individual. So long story short, if you've seen a lot of clips of one person and it's on their own social media page, like Hormozy, and the things that are being said are not like absolutely insane or outrageous, that's probably a good sign. But if you're seeing clips all over from a bunch of different accounts where the name might be like Real World or something like that, that isn't directly connected to the person but leads you to their page, that's when you should probably be wary. And especially be wary if there's an affiliate link in the description, if they use fear as a tool. If these influencers are making you feel like you don't have enough time, or that the system is trying to control you, and they pretend to understand your struggle and what you're going through, or especially if they try to create a common enemy, for example, the Illuminati, the Matrix, or Taskmasters, or whatever, that is not a good sign. See, creating a common enemy is a common tool used in propaganda to get people to rally together on one side and follow your cause. For instance, in the 1930s, the Nazis used this to get the German people on their side by using the Jews as a scapegoat. For the Bush administration, it was Al-Qaeda. And for the Allies in World War II, it was the Nazis. Just an incredibly evil, depersonified group of people that people can hate and get against. This is a quote from Blair Warren, which says, "People will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, allay their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies." And the tactics from a lot of these guys fall within the sentence. They create an enemy, like creating the Illuminati or the Matrix or whatever. They make you fear them, but offer a solution by getting you to buy into the course that's going to allay your fears. And they encourage your dreams of being wealthy and make it seem like the enemies are what caused you to not be wealthy in the past before this. And then they create an eventual goal for you to be on their side. This is all manipulation. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If something is promised you, and it seems to bypass the typical narrative for people, and you require their help in order to reach it, it very likely won't work. Get-rich-quick schemes are called get-rich-quick schemes for a reason. They don't work. And yes, it's possible to stand out and move ahead and get away from the crowd and actually achieve great things in a relatively short period of time. But it has to be done by you with a lot of thinking, a lot of effort, and a decent amount of luck. You aren't removed from the crowd of millions of other people who've watched the same video as you and the thousands who've signed up for the same cause as you just because you're special. And it completely makes sense to seek direction from others, especially if they're selling you such a beautiful dream. But you aren't going to stand out unless you figure it out yourself. You can't take a step-by-step guide from someone else and expect to be different. If you want to get rich, you need to find a unique product offering. Solve a problem that others can't solve or don't have time to solve, and fill that gap in the market. You can't compete with the millions of other people who are trying to dropship or start a social media marketing agency or whatever. You need to upskill in a unique way that solves people's problems. And if the problems you're solving are for poor people and you want to make money, you have to approach it with volume by solving lots of people's problems, because they won't be able to afford to pay as much. So if you find rich people's problems, which is generally to save time, you can charge a lot more and put in a lot less effort. But regardless, it will take effort, as most good things in life do. Now, I'm not trying to just be a hater, as a lot of these guys might say. A lot of the things these guys do are good. Iman, for instance, builds schools in Nepal. A lot of these guys do offer advice which helps young men and is beneficial. But just be cautious of buying into absolutely everything they say. You have to be able to hold two minds at once. Someone may say some things which are great and some things that are terrible, and you need to learn to choose what's what. And I'm not trying to call them scammers or say they're outright lying. And if by any chance, if any of the guys I spoke about, or maybe some of the people that I've alluded to, disagree with me and think I'm wrong, I'm more than happy to admit I might be. Just contact me in the email in the description below. We'll have a little chat, maybe meet up, and I'm more than happy to admit my mistakes if in fact I am wrong. But thank you for watching. Godspeed.